Hello, everyone.
Today's episode you're about to view is one that is very near and dear to our hearts. It's our friend, colleague, and fellow personal trainer, Leo Sanchez. He had a life-threatening experience that's going to touch your heart in so many ways. We loved having him on our show, and the episode is amazing. Right, Pierre?
Correct. The story was amazing. It will touch your heart. It touched my heart. It's really good.
So I hope you have Kleenex, and we'll see you after the show.
Welcome to ATW, Leo. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Leo. Welcome.
I'm excited for you to share your story with us and tell us about yourself. And
Tell us about your career, Leo.
Well, my name is Leo Sanchez. I've been personal training for 5 years. I have a certification NC, CPT, ISSA, and just recently TRX.
nice. So what got you into fitness?
Yeah.
Well, I was playing soccer for like 5 years as a kid, and randomly some guy kind of headhunted me. He was like, "Hey man, like you'd be the perfect height. You're like young, your kick's already there." And then he started telling me, he was like, "Oh, you should come to my Muay Thai kickboxing gym." So then I started doing the Muay Thai kickboxing, and it just evolved from there. I've just been kickboxing ever since I was like a kid.
Wow.
But it was always been on and off. I always kind of miss it and then go back to it on and off since I was like pretty much 14. No.
Did you ever compete kickboxing like a?
No,
with the gloves?
never
No.
competed. Never that bad, but you know, I've got my fair share of broken noses and you know, and then my fair share of licks for sure.
Leo, when you were training, how did you feel about training? Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. Now I'm currently a server at a restaurant, and then I do training in the morning, Monday through Friday. So it's just the only hard thing I hate about it is going there in the morning after a long night. So late nights, early mornings, that's the only thing I hate about it, but I love helping people with back injuries, so I'm officially like the spinal guy. Anybody with back injury, send them to Leo.
Yeah.
During my recovery, I just read like 2 textbooks on spine, and because I had nothing to do, I pretty much rehabbed my own spine. I went to a physical therapist for about a month, and after that, I was like, all right, I got it from here, and then just did my own rehab, and then followed up with my doctor, and like, oh man, you're doing the ridiculous recovery. So.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show, because when we knew each other in the industry, you were so built and buff, and I knew that something had happened, and I was like excited to have you on so that you could share just the journey that you went through.
Oh yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Yeah.
Well, I was coming out of class. I was in a managerial accounting class at Fullerton College, and I was on Chapman going home, and there was a kid at a stop sign, and he was trying to pass my lane and go into the opposing traffic, and he just never saw me. He just pulled out right in front of me. I was trying to make eye contact with him. He was looking the opposite direction the entire time, and then he just pulled out right in front of me. I barely had time to hit my brakes, and you saw my 64-ounce canteen. I had so I would drink that all the time, but I either had that or a coffee canteen in my backpack when I go to school.
Right.
So I had that in my backpack. That's what made me hyperextend my back and then break pretty much the whole thoracic spine got fractured. There was like 2 or 3 vertebrae that didn't get fractured, but every single vertebrae pretty much in the thoracic spine got fractured. They had to put a rod in there, a couple of pins, and there's like a kind of like a brace holding my spine in place to prevent it from function properly, and they put bone graft in there. But anyways, I hit him, flipped in the air, landed on my back, and walked away from the accident. First instinct was to get out of the street, so I sat myself on a bus bench. The moment I sat down, that's when I was like, oh my God, like there's something wrong with my spine. And I just held myself up until the paramedics got there.
Oh my goodness!
And
wow.
yeah.
Wow. So obviously the kid stopped and the ambulance came. And,
Yes.
Yeah, and what were you thinking? Were you like, what just happened? I mean, that's
What was
so
going through your
horrific.
mind?
Oh,
Yeah.
man, like it was so surreal because a week before the accident, I actually had a dream about me flipping in the air and getting in a motorcycle accident. So it was really surreal to experience that, but I didn't think there was anything wrong with me because I fall all the time, you know, sports. I was always big on skateboarding too, so I was used to falling. So I just thought like, oh, it was a really bad fall. I flipped in the air. Yeah, it looked bad, but I walked away, so I didn't think it was anything bad until paramedics saw my spine and they're like, oh, you have to go to UCI. You have like a serious spinal problem here, injury.
Your accident, what was your first thought?
How's my bike? Yeah.
Okay.
All I was worried about was my
Of
bike.
course, yeah.
Like my pants were pretty ripped. I got a nice little scar on my ankle and also broke the fibula, broke this leg.
But you managed to get up.
But I managed to get up and then walked away. So I didn't think anything was wrong.
Right,
So I thought it was fine.
Well, and let our viewers know too. What was your, as far as like your physique at that point in your, what? You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in the best shape of my life. I was 210 pounds. I'm 6'2". I was 16% body fat. So I went up in body fat a little bit. I was always trying to maintain like a 12%, 13%. And so I went up a little bit, but I was trying to gain. I was trying to get up to 220, but it was definitely the biggest I've ever been. And that's the only reason why I wasn't paralyzed. The doctor said, he said, normally if you land on coffee thermos like that, flip in the air, you should be paralyzed. But I fractured my spine, and it was pretty much my spinal cord, and this is my fracture, and it was like half an inch away from being paralyzed. They said the only reason why I wasn't paralyzed was because of my muscular back, because that was the number one thing I focused on was my back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
number one. I just
Wow.
love doing pull-ups, rows, all that good stuff.
How about the rehab, Leo? Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's when I kind of got into the darkest place I've ever been in. I'd never really considered myself like a depressed person or sad person, and you know, it was very trying on my mental state because I just never thought I'd get back to the same active lifestyle I used to live, and thinking that I would never go back to the way I once was, and then thinking about, you know, I have a lot of clients who always come to me and they tell me, oh, I always have a back problem, I can't move well, you know, they walk with no get up because either tight hip flexor or just bad back. And so when I would train, I would be like, man, like, that's the number one thing I don't ever want to have is a bad back.
When you wake up in the morning, what do you? I mean,
It was
what a gift.
like, you know, I still go to school. I had to go re-enroll back in the managerial accounting class,
Yeah.
and you know, I was in a really dark place. I'd wake up, cry. I'd be in the shower, cry, or eat, I'll cry. But once I got back to work, every single day, I got to wake up and walk.
You still doing your rehab,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Every
Okay.
single day I'm working on my stretches and all that good stuff. Now I don't even feel like I have a back problem.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future I might feel it, but
Tell
right
us-
now I just.
Leo, I'm curious
yeah.
about your rehab. As far as rehab is concerned, what kind of rehab did you do?
Exercises. You mean?
Yeah, exercises. Yeah, too.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I would. It's more of like dynamic stretching that I would do. I'd kind of lay on my back, work on my lumbar, like throw my feet side to side, and
Strengthen it.
strengthen it. Because after the accident, I got rounded shoulders, my chest sunk in.
Yeah.
I couldn't even lift like 2.5 pounds in my side. I tried to like start working out. I have like a video of me trying to work out, and I couldn't even lift like 2.5 pounds. So it was more mental, like going back to the gym. But yeah, it was a lot of stretching, a lot of these dynamic
Yeah.
stretches that I would have to do every day, and I still do them to this day, twice a day.
Yeah.
And it'd even be as simple as me pushing my neck into the pillow and strengthening up the back of my neck.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about yoga too, you and I together.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's so good for you as well. And I know
Phenomenal.
you said that you're doing that also.
Yeah, I'd do it at least twice a week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Leo, during this rehab, it's weird now you're the patient.
Yes.
What were you thinking?
Oh, yeah. It was.
Because, I mean, in our industry, we are the rehabs.
Yeah.
We rehab clients, Jen and I and you.
Yeah.
Now you're the patient.
It was. I thought I was ready for more, because the moment I got out of the hospital, they sent me right across the street to their little live-in like rehab, where they do occupational therapy and then just regular rehab.
Right.
And so they kind of showed me how to shower myself sitting down and put on my socks. But the rehab part of it, there were students like, oh, you got to be able to do this. And I was like, oh, no, I'm ready for the bands. And they wouldn't want to give me bands. I was like, okay. And they're like, no, this is like a very, very serious injury. I was like, no, I understand, but I'm ready. I want to do this. I was like, no, you're not.
It's so
you
bad.
got to slow
we can't
down.
be patients, huh?
Yeah. I was definitely the worst patient.
Yeah.
I listened to him. But when I was cleared by my doctor to go work out, I was in the gym with my walker, my broken leg, my boot on, and I was ready to get to work.
You obviously were a fighter. There was a fighter in there where you didn't want to give up. You didn't
Yes.
quit. Because if you would have, you wouldn't be here today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So where was that, in your mind, where was that turning point when you said, this will not beat me. This will not beat me. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, it was, I definitely had help, because I didn't think that I would ever get back to the way I was. And my little sister, she's always been on the thicker side. And I've always encouraged her. I got her into Muay Thai kickboxing too.
Yeah.
She was 16 when she started. But she gave it up. She'd always kind of go to fitness and then give up, go to fitness, give up. And I'm always there encouraging her to keep going. And finally, when she saw how much it helped me, as far as not being paralyzed, and obviously it was going to help me for my recovery, she started her fitness journey. And that's the only reason why I went to the gym 6 times a week is because she was bugging me to go. But it was definitely my little sister, my family,
Who took care
told
of
me
you?
not to give up.
Oh, wow.
So you had a family. And
Yeah, because I was ready to. Oh yeah.
I'm in awe because for some reason I thought this happened last year and it happened this year.
Yes.
I'm in awe over that because February is not that long ago.
No.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah, and I've been at work. I've been back to work for 2 months now. So it was only 6 months of recovery. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself going in the future as far as you're meeting your own fitness goals? As far as do you want to get back to where you were? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I see myself in the mirror every day, and it's like, yeah, I'm in okay shape. I think I have a complex where, I was always skinny my whole life, so I'm always gonna see myself skinny no matter how big I was. At 210 pounds, how people tell you, oh man, get out of the gym. You're here. You already have the perfect physique. You don't have to do anymore.
Yeah.
But I never saw myself like that. But I'd love to be able to go. I'm up 8 pounds from what I was. I was 180, now I'm at 188. But I'd love to get back to at least 200 pounds. I don't know about 210, but at least 200 pounds.
Leo, how about your relationships with your friends and lovers, girlfriends?
Oh
How did
man.
that affect you? I'm
It
sure our
was
viewers
February.
need to know. Tell us, Leo.
No, it was definitely trying. My girlfriend was my rock. She used up all her vacation time and was there for a whole month, not working and just taking care of me. She would go over to my house, bring me food. It was a lot of Netflix we were watching. We couldn't do much. She'd eventually get bored of that, and then she took me on walks around the neighborhood, and on my little walker, and so she's definitely the one that kind of kept me going with my friends. They came to visit me.
Good.
You know, my room was full of chairs around my bed because there's so many people visiting me, friends and family always coming to support me. Oh yeah.
When you were recovering, because I know as trainers, we a lot of times will recommend like natural remedies or any type of like, when people go into surgery, like any type of tissue repair, we'll have like, I'm going to take Arnica montana or bromelain or eat more protein to help the muscle recover.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
take any BCAAs or glutamine or anything that would help?
Yes, I was definitely throwing my BCAs into my canteen of water that I would drink all the time.
Yeah.
At least do half a gallon because I wasn't exercising. I'd force myself to drink at least half a gallon, but it was definitely and I'm lactose, so I can't do any whey protein or anything like that. So I'm on a plant-based protein,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, it was just that my multivitamin, you know, my almond milk, and just like naturally eating my mom's home cooked food, and the CBD oil definitely helped with the pain because it was a very weird thing because if I would pull this arm slightly, my right side of my back would be engaged, like the right rhomboids, just because like they cut it right down the middle, so they're still kind of fusing, and so the CBD oil definitely helped. It was kind of took the pain away once I weaned myself off of the pain meds, because at first I couldn't even turn over in bed without being doped up with at least, I was on like 4 painkillers.
You're not fully recovered, right, Leo?
No.
Still
They
doing
said
good.
after 2 years, I'll be, you know, I won't really notice it. And it's only been 8 months and I don't really notice it now, other than muscle tightness.
Yeah.
Muscle tightness, I kind of have to force myself to be in good posture, and I constantly find myself slouching. So that's the only part. Yeah.
Do you take anything for a joint? I mean,
Yes,
I know the CBD oil, but is there
the
anything?
glucosamine with the chondroitin.
Okay.
And that's about it. I also started doing like 3 months into my recovery, I started doing bone broth.
Yes, love it. Yeah.
That is,
so
I
good.
swear by that. I feel like that's the reason
Yes.
why I recovered so fast. Is
Yeah.
that definitely that I
Yes,
forgot about the
totally.
bone
The
broth.
collagen that's in that and
Yeah.
everything else. Oh yeah, so good for you. Well, what advice do you have that you've learned from this whole experience? I mean, what could you say if you had to give advice to the viewers?
Yeah.
Never give up. It's such a cliche, but it's just, you know, having that support system there, and if you don't have anybody to support you, hopefully my story
Yes.
will let you know that, you know, there's a way out of the dark place.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the key question: do you ride a motorcycle now?
No, I
Okay.
definitely hung up my helmet. I promised my family I would never get back on one, just because I miss it. Still to this day, I have dreams about me riding the motorcycle, you know, taking the turns, but I wouldn't be able to put that on them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would definitely be super selfish of me.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them
Yeah.
to have to take time out of their day to take care of me again.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to next year? We're ending this year.
Yeah.
So
What are your goals?
Yeah.
I would love to. Right before the accident, I was taking like these voiceover classes and
Perfect for you.
about to be.
That's right up your alley.
Come on, Leo. Save that beat voice, Leo.
Yeah, I was, and I don't even think I had anything special until I started working at the restaurant. And everyone was like, "Oh man, you got to be a voiceover actor." I was like, "All right, cool."
What's up, Leo?
So
I just love that voice, Leo.
Yeah.
So I started finally pursuing it.
Good.
And you know, that was put on hold during my rehab, but I'm finally ready to make my reel, because I have like done auditions before where, you know, my voice wasn't the right fit for the job, but they always, like twice, only 2 auditions I ever went to, they always tell me, oh, leave an audition. I'm constantly working on things. Leave a reel. It's a little demo tape pretty much of what you can do. And I didn't have one. So I was like, oh man, I gotta do this. And then right before the accident, I was like trying to find places that I could make my reel. And then, so that was placed on hold. So definitely before this year's over, I definitely want to make my reel in 2019. I want to be able to make that my career.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. Whenever we have people on here, we do like this game. It's called Pick a Stick. And so we're going to have you pick a stick. It's kind of a fun thing just to end here. And you get to pick it. And it's just a question that you'll answer. You can read it.
You can read it like that, Leo. With your voice. With the voice. With the voice, Leo. Come on.
Favorite actor?
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. We planned that.
Yeah.
I would definitely say number 1 actor is Denzel Washington. Absolutely.
Okay, all
He's
right.
Very cool.
You know, I'd always, as a voiceover actor, I thought it was crazy that I always try to like imitate people's voices. Or
He does have big, deep voice.
Yeah, cartoons. And so Training Day, you know,
Yeah.
doing the little accent that he does. And just always trying to
Okay, can you do
mimic
it?
him.
I want you to do it. Seriously.
Come
I
on,
want
Leo.
you to do it.
I want to hear that voice, Leo. Come on.
Oh,
Our viewers
man.
wants to see it. Come on, Leo.
Oh man, and I totally forgot the part of it too, but I could do a mean Rocky impression. I totally forgot.
Okay, let's
Whatever it
try
takes, Leo.
Yo, Adrian. Time to go fight the Russian. My dad loves that impression, but
Leo, that was good.
Thank
Oh my
you very
gosh,
much.
Leo.
That's good, Leo.
Thank you so much.
Leo, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it. Sharing it. Thank you so much, Leo.
I told you I was gonna try not to cry, but every time I talk about it, it's
You're
just
blessed, man. You are so
You're here.
blessed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
And thank you so much
So
for sharing
cool.
that story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you for having me. No, I definitely want to be able to at least help one person.
Yeah.
That's why I went back to training. Is maybe I can help that person with a back problem not give up and not have to go their entire life with.
Yeah.
You are the
dealing
right
with
person
pain.
for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so
Thank you
glad.
so much.
We had you on our show.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Leo.
fortunate. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Until next time.
We hope all things work out for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I don't know how you can watch that without shedding a tear because that was such a moving episode. It was one of our favorites, and it just really touched our hearts in so many ways, right, Pierre?
Right. Remember, you guys, Leo is a personal trainer. We're personal trainers. We're instructors. Fitness is our world.
Right. And it really showed me, like, not to take health for granted, you know, because every day is a gift.
Really, it touched my heart, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Until next time, we hope all things work out.